Okay, well, we're here with Nasim Misrabi, Syrian refugee who came to Canada about 2016. We're just here to talk about Nasim's situation, especially in regards to his parents.
Yeah.
Nasim, why don't you tell us first what happened in Syria that caused you to leave Syria?
Yeah, actually in 2015, July 2015, I left Syria because the situation right there was very bad. The war, the shells, the rockets, and a lot of people there, they were fleeing from Syria because of the war. And actually because I've been asked many times to involve in this war, to carry a weapon and to kill other Syrians as well. So because of that, when they asked me to involve in this war, in this army, so we fled to Turkey. I fled to Turkey first. Yeah, so it was the beginning of the change that happened to my life.
When you left Syria, you had to go by yourself.
Yeah.
Is that right? But you had parents still living in Syria at the time. Why didn't you take your parents with you, or what happened in that situation?
No, it's actually because in that situation I had to flee immediately, because the decision in Syria, you have to take it right away, and instead of that you have your life is going to be done in just one moment. So I took that decision to went to Turkey and to build to build something in Turkey, and then bring him from Syria to Turkey.
So you had a very narrow window of opportunity.
Exactly.
To
I just had 2 days to take that decision.
Okay.
And because it's very hard to take it as a family, but it's easy to take it as a single person, as an individual. So yeah, and that day actually I just said, okay, I'm gonna go to Turkey. I'm gonna build something for them. I'm gonna try to build a good choice for them, and for them to when they come from Syria to Turkey, so they're gonna find a good situation they can live.
And how long has it been since you left Syria and then you didn't see them for a long time? How long was that period?
It's been from 2016, then 2017, 2018, and after I applied for them in this case, so I saw them on June 2019
Okay.
for only 3 weeks.
Right. And then you had to come back to Canada.
And I had to come back to Canada for my business.
What's going on in Turkey and Syria right now? What's the situation?
Yeah. Now the situation is very complicated. So many peoples right there on the border between Turkey and Syria. So many groups fighting each other, and now it's being developed between countries, not between groups.
I've heard, Nasim, that and we're not trying to ascribe any blame to any one country or anything like that, but there are some rumors that Turkey also wants to create a buffer zone so that some of these Syrians that currently are in Turkey right now can be moved there. Is that what you're hearing on the ground?
And this is what we heard about in Turkey, actually, every day. The thing is, as I told you, everything happening in the Middle East affects Syrians, and there's every day a new decisions and a new law happening now in Turkey. For example, in Istanbul, so the people who doesn't have a Turkish temporary residence, they move them right away. If they don't have any temporary residence, so they move them to Syria. They send them back.
Right.
So, for example, any party, for example, he wants to market himself.
Yep.
As he wants to fight the illegal immigration.
Yes.
So he always promise the people that they're gonna send back the Syrians to a safe zone in Syria if he wins.
They call it a safe zone, but in reality, no one really is in control. So even if they call it a safe zone,
the safe zone right now, there's no spot now in the Middle East between Turkey and Syria and all the other countries. There's no single spot is safe right there.
And not to get too inflammatory or anything like that, but ISIS is still somewhat active in that area.
Yeah. I'm actually I've been 6 months out of any news, because when you see, as I told you, a lot of countries and a lot of people and a lot of groups fighting there. And each country or each one, they are saying we are doing right. And they just put ISIS as their first priority to kill or to destroy. But in the end, okay, maybe they are fighting ISIS, but in the end they are fighting another people and the groups that they want to fight.
Yeah.
So
and the Syrians are always caught in the middle, no matter
exactly, this is it. This is it. When we saw ourselves like we are in the middle, so we just want to live. Just want to live in a good situation in a country that that respect people and respect lives.
And the problem being is that if your parents are ever in the category of people who have to go back into Syria, we just don't know what's going to happen in that type of situation.
Yeah, exactly. Right. We don't know. Right now, actually, they are saying only the people who doesn't have a temporary protection card, they're going to send it back to Syria. But my parents right there, they're hearing every day like situations or cases that happen to those Syrians who has temporary protection, but they had involved in that decisions. And when I went to Turkey on June, there was the mayor. They were electing the mayor.
Yeah.
So the good stuff that I had a temporary the travel document.
Yeah.
I had a Canadian travel document,
Right.
and I entered Turkey as a Canadian travel document. So I was I was encouraged to go and involve, not involved, just to go through, for example, the election campaigns.
Yeah.
And I was shocked when I just heard like every party, they are just mentioning the Syrian cases
Right.
and promising people just to get votes.
They're basically saying we're going to solve the Syrian
We're
problem.
gonna, yes.
Right. And to be fair, though, to Turkey, in Canada, we took in 50 to 60,000 refugees. But in Turkey, there was probably about 4.5 million.
4.5 millions, yeah. Now I think there are 4 millions. But if you just see right now what's happening now in Turkey, like the president right there, he's just telling Europe, if you, for example, say that what I'm doing right now in Syria, it's wrong, and you want to send like, or you want to cut like a funding for Syrians, so I'm gonna send Syrians to Europe, another million Syrians, I'm gonna send it to Europe. So as you can see here, all the presidents, all the politicians, they are using now this Syrian case.
Syrians are caught in the middle.
Yes. Yeah.
So, so Nasim, when you came to Canada, it's a little bit of a funny story, but you didn't come to Toronto first.
No, it's actually the first, I arrived to Montreal.
Okay.
Staying one day.
Yeah. One day in Montreal.
Just one day, then they sent me to Winnipeg.
Winnipeg.
Yes.
It's different from
It's
other parts of the
very
country.
different, actually, because when they took me from Montreal to Winnipeg, and I came as a single government-sponsored guy.
Yes.
So I came from Winnipeg, from Montreal to Toronto.
Yeah.
Then from Toronto to Winnipeg. So when I arrived to Toronto, I saw the sun. I saw like the details of the city from the airplane. But when I arrived to Winnipeg, I saw the snow and I felt that cold. And I came from Turkey, it was 20 degrees. When I arrived to Winnipeg, it was minus 42.
Right.
So
you don't get minus 42 in Syria.
No anymore.
Okay.
The worst, we got 0. This is the worst case.
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah, so yeah, that was actually the first step when I arrived. But actually for myself, what I want to is just to arrive to a safe country, to a good country that I can build my life and I can build my future.
So, and in Canada, you were able to meet with Prime Minister Trudeau at one point.
Yes, yeah, I met him in 2017, at the end of 2017. The welcome in the newcomer kitchen.
Right, and he actually came with the CBC crew.
Yes.
To film a little bit of a meet and greet and a talk.
Exactly. So they called me and they said, okay, if you can come and you can just describe your situation to the Prime Minister and just tell them about your parents that you want to bring. So what is the best situation or the best way to bring it? So yeah, when I just met the Prime Minister in 2017, I was very happy and I was like very respectful and grateful for seeing him because I saw how he's taking care of the Syrians and I saw how the achievements he's done in 2016. So yeah, it was perfect actually meeting him.
Okay, and when you came to Canada, you had to take a variety of jobs just to
Yeah.
make ends meet and to raise money for your family
Yes.
as well.
So what I saw is, okay, I have to start working right now. So I started applying for, because I'm a marketeer, and like my specialist is a graphic designer and marketing.
Okay.
So I started applying for different jobs. And I've started volunteering in many like cultural events. And finally I found someone, like he said, okay, so you can help me in my work. It was a K-Mobile Communication. This is the first company I worked in. And I'm so very thankful for him, because I worked for him for 2 years.
Yep.
And after that, I saw if I just establish my business and I just make it bigger, so I can gain like more, and I can sponsor my family. Yeah, so in this 4 years, I worked with around 10 to 11 companies. One of them is a Life Labs.
And at the time when we met, you were working 4 jobs at that
I
time.
was working 4 jobs, like yes, like
Yeah.
I was doing a dental chair. I remember the dental chair stuff.
Guitar lessons.
And guitar lessons and the marketing and
Life Labs, I
Life
think
Labs.
still at that time,
Yes,
yeah.
yes. I'm still working with Life Labs right now.
What's the message to the people of Canada you would want to give?
Yeah, actually, in those 4 years, I think God sent me the best people in Canada. Yeah, so the best thing actually, what I've met here, like the people that I've met here in Canada, that they're so helpful, and they're like respect you, whatever your religion, your color, and this is actually what I love here in this city, because it's very hard to find it in different cities in the world.
Nasim, obviously you are your parents' son, and you're going to do anything to keep your parents safe.
Yeah.
So if right now their application is still in limbo, we're waiting for the processing to happen, but it's been a year and a half to 2 years now.
2 years and a half, yes.
So what's the current plan if they can't get their application through?
Yes. Now it's, look, in 2017, on May 2017, we applied for my parents, like between the St. John Church and the sponsorship agreement holder. Mm-hmm. And thank you for helping me in this. So when we sponsored them, I was very happy, and because I felt that there is a chance to see my parents here. The situation of my parents in Turkey is very bad. Like even they're like they have some medical issues. My father, my father and mother, they are seniors, and it's like living in Turkey. It needs someone who's active, who can take buses, who can jump on the train.
Mm-hmm. And how old are your parents too?
My father right now, I think he's 78 or 77. Okay. My mom, she's 63, 64. Yeah, so as I'm telling you, it's getting so hard, especially for myself. When I see myself, I can help. I can go to Turkey to help them. So if I have 2 choices, like staying in Canada, building businesses, getting money, not thinking about them anymore, I'm not like that. Because of my parents' situation, I can't think about that. So yes, the alternative plan by 2020, by the beginning of 2020, I'm gonna go back again, hopefully, and see if I can help them.
It's not like you don't have anything to lose if you go over there, because you have to stop working. You have to stop.
I have to stop working. I have to. I don't know. It's, as I'm telling you, it's very hard to take that decision as well, because I'm contracting with different companies. I have my business, which is People 360. This is my business. So I'm doing contracts with 4 different companies. I'm doing work for them. So it's going to be very hard actually to stop that job.
Yeah.
or to
And even
pose
things
it.
like your car, you're gonna stop payments on that. and
Yeah,
spend it.
exactly. Like taking that decision that I'm gonna go to Turkey and I'm gonna spend more time in Turkey rather than Canada.
You're gonna have to sell your car too, I think
I'm
you
gonna
told me
sell my
before.
car and
Yeah.
I'm gonna sell my stuff even in Turkey. And as I'm living with my sister and my nephew and niece, my brother-in-law is still like his file is in process. So I'm living with my sister and two kids. It's gonna be hard for them because I used to live them for 3 years. So it's going to be a big decision to leave them and to leave my life here in Canada because.
So what we're going to try to do at our church, with the church as a sponsor, and to try to help the application go through, is we're going to start what's called a writ of mandamus to try to get and this is our last resort really because we tried everything else. We're going to try to help your parents' application get pushed through because we're going to bring a writ to the government asking them to make a decision.
Yeah.
Just to make a decision, not to make
Exactly. So as I'm telling you, thank you. I want to thank the immigration. I want to thank everyone who helps in this situation. But the thing is, the processing time, it's done 4 months ago.
Yeah.
And I've been waiting for that time, actually, just to know because my life is related to my parents' case.
Yeah.
So if yes, so I can go in that way. If no, so I can go another way.
And you don't blame the government of Canada.
I'm not blaming anyone, actually,
Yeah.
because they welcome me. They make me spend 4 years and doing like so many achievements. And I'm not blaming anyone.
But you need to know what's going to happen to your parents.
Exactly. I just want to know because, so as I'm telling you, I'm still waiting now, my whole time, for any decision from these steps.